been the biggest adjustment for you so far this year?
I would say the biggest adjustment. Whoa. Y'all want to talk on that?
Wow, yeah, I mean, we saw it play out, and Manny on his way to second base went down low. Nothing dirty there, by the way. He and Edman just got tangled up, and Tommy was unable to throw to first base. The outs recorded on base.
Manny Machado back in the spotlight for some negative energy. Now, before I even get into this video, obviously I'm going to disclose over my right shoulder, you see that I have a Padres jersey. So right off the bat, people are going to say, oh, Mr. Phenomenal's biased. He's going to defend Machado. And I'm here to tell you that this is going to be as straightforward and as honest as I can be. I played baseball my entire life, all the way through college, up until a year and a half ago. So my baseball experience, my baseball knowledge, at least I'd like to think is at a high level. And so I'm going to break down what happened with Manny Machado yesterday against the Cardinals. It's getting a lot of attention, especially from guys like Fuzzy on Twitter. It was originally brought up by a Dodgers beat reporter. So all in all, we're going to go over it. We're going to go over his history. We're going to go over some other plays that are really similar, and we're going to break down exactly what happened. So let's get into it. So Manny Machado, he reached on an error, and here's the full play. He's on first base after, believe it or not, Nolan Arenado made a throwing error to first base. Jake Cronenworth's going to come up. He's going to chop this ball, okay, to second base. Tommy Edman picks it up, and Machado slides into Edman. Now, right away, you notice that Machado checks on him to see if he's all right? And that could have been an eye wash situation where he's just checking on him. Edman goes, ow, my shin. And as you can see, Manny coming off the field, kind of grimacing with a little bit of a limp as well. It looks like he's a little bit dinged up as well. As you can see, he's a little gingerly on that ankle or shin or whatever he made contact with Tommy Edman. Teammates are right there to pick him up, okay? So, and on the broadcast, as you might have been able to hear in the background, Alex Rodriguez was on the ESPN call, and he actually referenced that Tommy Edman, as you can see here, never actually tagged Manny Machado. So that's a completely separate issue, but that's number one. Number two, Edman goes flying in the air, okay? He goes flying in the air, and that play looks like it could be a dirty play, all right? Now, I'm here to tell you that this play in particular, specific one-time instance, is not a dirty play. Okay, this is a baseball play, and at this exact moment in time, Manny Machado has every right to the base path as every other part of Tommy Edman. So Cronenworth chops this ball to second. Right here, Manny Machado is running to second base. Edman fields the ball cleanly and is standing directly in his path. Okay, now this is the exact moment that there's a decision point. As you can see, Manny Machado is already starting his downward slide into what appears to be Tommy Edman's legs. And to a lot of people, that came across as a dirty move in a situation where, hey, he should have stopped running. He should have just let him tag him. He should have stopped and turned back and ran towards first. He should have tried to run to the right, run to the left. Now, I'm going to be able to show you guys a few instances of some other base runners in this exact situation and what they chose to do, and show you exactly how what Manny Machado did is completely legal, not dirty at all, and something that happens all the time in Major League Baseball. So this is a situation on Friday night, not even less than 2 days ago, where the runner was on first. They chopped it to the right side, and Austin Nola was in the very similar situation where Paul Goldschmidt fields the ball in the baseline, and Austin Nola dives out of the way, right? Could have very easily done that. Manny Machado, okay? As you can see here, they chop it to second base, or to first base to the right side. At this situation, Nola is already out of the baseline, as you can clearly see. Paul Goldschmidt's going to be fielding the ball, okay? Aaron Nola made the choice, Austin Nola, his brother, made the choice to veer out of the baseline and try to avoid the tag. Also an option for Manny Machado. In this situation, because he did that, he caused the play to be disrupted enough, with additionally, as you can see in the bottom of your screen, the pitcher not getting over, to where the double play is not executed. And that is the primary objective for any base runner running from first base to second base with less than 2 outs, is to break up the double play. Additionally, Austin Nola is entitled to the baseline. So if he would have ran straight through Paul Goldschmidt, there would have been no interference called, because he has to be able to go from first base to second base unobstructed. And if he is, and the only way he will not be allowed to go from first base to second base unobstructed is if the person in front of him, the defender, has the baseball. In the case of Manny Machado, it was Tommy Edman. In this case, it was Paul Goldschmidt. Now, this is a situation that many people are familiar with and have seen this video many a times, but Albert Bell is on first base back in the 90s for the Cleveland Indians. A ball by Eddie Murray gets chopped to the right side, and the second baseman picks the ball up, and obviously Albert Bell blows him up. Okay, but for me, it's a lot more difficult to make this distinction because in this situation, at this exact spot, this is the exact spot that Manny Machado was in literally last night. Okay, the exact situation. Second baseman has the ball, the runner is in front of the second baseman, he's trying to get to second base, and again Albert Bell is forced to make a decision. Manny Machado's decision was, I'm gonna dive, slide underneath him in a partial attempt to avoid the tag and in a partial attempt to break up the double play. In this situation, Albert Bell made absolutely no effort to get out of the way, no effort to avoid the tag. In fact, he welcomed the contact, and in doing so, blew up the second baseman Vina. Absolutely blew him to pieces. And guess what? Vina was not happy, and I don't blame him. I don't blame him. See, that's a situation where Albert Bell is again looking for contact, extended his arm and knocked him on his rear end. Okay, so again, Manny Machado had the choice to do this, he had the choice to slide, and he had the choice to avoid contact altogether. Stop running and turn around, runway right, runway left. But either way, he's gonna be out. And you have a choice as a base runner to break up the double play in the cleanest way possible, to break up the double play in the dirtiest way possible, aka Albert Bell, or to make no effort to break up the double play, and then in doing so, guarantee that they're also going to get the out at first base. Now, I've seen a number of tweets that brought this up to the attention of most of the baseball community. This video originated from a guy named Blake Harris, who's he's a reporter for True Blue LA, the Dodgers portion of SB Nation, essentially. And so he's a Dodgers reporter. He's got a bit of a Dodgers bias, but either way, he posted the video with a caption that said, "Not exactly sure what Manny Machado was going for here, but I know if a Dodgers player did this, the entire city of San Diego would be on their way to LA with pitchforks." Okay, that's his angle from the Dodgers reporting perspective, and I can understand where he's coming from. Of course, when you have a dirty play in general, it's always going to be scrutinized. It's always going to be taken into consideration. So this entire basis of Manny Machado being a dirty player is based on a handful of interactions that Manny Machado's had over his career that could be considered very, very dirty. And we're going to run through a few of those at this exact moment. So this is a video titled Manny Machado being Manny Machado. Now let's run through a few of these circumstances. As you can see, Adam Jones, former teammate, dribbles one to third base. Manny Machado gets tagged by Josh Donaldson, loses his balance, got tagged a little bit hard, loses his balance, falls over in front of 35,000 people, gets a little bit embarrassed, and throws his helmet down and says, "You know what, I didn't appreciate that hard tag." But in reality, Manny Machado at this point in his career was a younger guy, total overreaction, as everybody can agree. And like I said previously, over my right shoulder, I have the Padres jersey. I am a Padres fan, and I do root for Manny Machado, but he had some questionable plays in the past. Okay, so there's this play where he bench is clear, he got tagged a little bit hard. This play where he throws the bat intentionally into the field of play and then acts like he loses control of it just because the bat was slippery. Also an incredibly dirty play from Manny Machado that is totally unwarranted and uncalled for. Throwing your bat at any point is just not going to work. This is a situation right here between two hot-headed players, between Yordano Ventura and Manny Machado. This next play, a 98-mile-an-hour fastball up and in. As a hitter, you don't necessarily love that. The next pitch on 1-0 is another 98-mile-an-hour fastball inside. Now, as you can see, Machado's a little bit upset. At this point, Yordano Ventura, may he rest in peace, of course, he's at fault on the mound in this situation, okay? He's thrown two pitches inside. He throws a third pitch. Manny hits it deep to the left, ends up flying out. They have a little jogging back and forth. It is what it is. The next inning, the next time Ventura faces him, he throws a fastball at 99 miles an hour. It runs inside and drills him right in the kidney. And Manny says, you know what, we're going to fight. This right here is not dirty by Manny Machado at all. Yordan Ventura is abusing his power on the mound, could possibly injure or end somebody's career. And in doing so, he hits Manny, and Manny takes exception to it. And that is what it is. Okay. So that's another play. That's just a baseball play. It is what it is. You can talk about it being dirty, clean, whatever. Now, this is probably one of the more famous plays Manny's known for. He comes into second base to break up a double play, slides into Dustin Pedroia at second base, thus injuring him. And from that point on, Dustin Pedroia struggled with that knee injury that ended up coming out of this play. Machado is immediate to check him out, make sure he's okay, has no intentions of injuring this guy in this situation, okay? And as dirty as it looks, all he's trying to do is break up a double play. But the problem is, when you're Manny Machado and you have a dirty history, every play that you have like this, including the one that happened yesterday, you're going to be taken into consideration for being a dirty player. And every time something happens that's questionable, people are going to say, oh, there's Manny Machado being dirty, right? So he comes up, slides into second base, lifts the leg up, and puts a little spike into Pedroia's leg there. Again, right away, is trying to catch him, does not want to injure him. So every play that Machado's involved with requires a little bit of context, okay? We're going to skip forward a little bit. This is a play against the Brewers in the postseason where Manny was the focal point for a handful of bad plays, okay? As he heads into second here, slides directly into the base, okay? And Orlando Arcia is in front of the bag, okay? So again, context is key. Manny slides into the base. Orlando, get out of the way. That's where I stand in that situation. He needs to not be blocking the base path so that Machado can get to second. This is a situation where I think they ended up calling Bellinger out at first base, and rightfully so, okay? Same situation. Manny's running from first to second. The out is recorded, and Manny's got a long way to go, and he goes out of his way to slide into Orlando Arcia, okay? Right here. The base is this way, Manny. You're way to the left of the base, and your foot hits the bag, but you reach. He reaches with his right arm and grabs Orlando Arcia, therefore affecting the throw, and Bellinger is out, okay? They effectively call him out. So that situation happens. It is what it is. Him getting into it with the umpire is something that's not, you know, uncommon in the game of baseball. And this upcoming play is probably what he's most famous for as far as being dirty goes. Ground ball to short, runs to first, blatantly and openly kicks Jesus Aguilar completely on purpose. Incredibly dirty play. Acting like he didn't mean to, acting like he tripped, acting like his foot got caught. I don't know what exactly Manny's arguing right here, but as unbiased as I can be, I thought this was one of the most dirty plays I've ever seen in baseball history. Now, thankfully, nobody got that hurt. Aguilar might have bruised, might have done something, but in the grand scheme of things, Aguilar wasn't affected that bad. But this play is as blatant and as obvious as you can be as a base runner. Manny is running down the line, and he drags his left foot. I mean, he drags it and purposely kicks Jesus Aguilar, okay? This is as, again, blatant. The ball, by the way, is in Aguilar's glove. Like, the out is recorded. He drags, and boom, kicks Jesus Aguilar, right? So again, luckily, nobody got hurt in that situation, but Aguilar very easily could have gotten injured with an ankle ligament, a knee ligament, any bones in his foot. And this play for Manny Machado was exceptionally dirty. So all of that leads back to this play we're looking at right here. All of that leads back to this play we're looking at right here, where Manny Machado is at a decision point, decides to go down, and boom, takes out Tommy Edman. Okay, same thing. We'll watch it one more time. Cronenworth chops it to second base and goes low. Edman goes flying through the air, comes down, lands okay. Manny Machado calls time, says, "Are you okay, Tommy? I didn't want to hurt you. I was trying to get up, get out of the way of the tag and also possibly break up the double play." So here's the tweet from Blake Harris, right over here. Blake Harris tweets out, "Not sure exactly what Manny was going for, but I know if the Dodgers player did this, the entire city of San Diego, blah, 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 blah. Okay. This video was then reposted by Fuzzy from YouTube. Now, no disrespect to Fuzzy here. I totally understand where he's coming from. And if anything, all Fuzzy's done is create a bit of a conversation point. Okay. And he's talking about how Manny was doing so well. And now what is he doing? Right. All of the videos that I showed you previously were context for this exact tweet right here, because since he's been on the Padres, Manny Machado hasn't really had a whole lot of controversy, a lot of dirty plays, anything like that. Mostly just because, you know, the first year he was on the Padres, we weren't great. Last year, we were a little bit better. He got into it with Gratterall in the postseason, and that was, again, a high emotion situation. Nobody, you know, was taken out. Nobody was injured. It wasn't a dirty play. Fuzzy says, Manny, you were doing so well. What the are you doing? And afterwards, he quotes the tweet, or he replies in a thread and says, every single person so far defending him has been a Padres fan. Manny has grown on me, but that's some serious fanboy activity if you want to defend his side, okay? Or do you want to defend his slide? It's hard for me in that situation to say that every person defending Manny Machado in this specific spot is a fanboy of Manny Machado. Okay, it's very hard for me to do that in this situation because we have multiple tweets, multiple professional former players that are defending Manny Machado. Here's one right here. Okay, this is Adam Jones. Adam Jones says that's actually a smart play. He didn't allow the double play to happen. Perfect execution, well within the rules. You might not like it, but it's perfectly legal. But the infielders don't like it, and that's a completely understandable situation. Of course, Tommy Edman's not going to love Manny Machado sliding into him. But the problem is that many people, including Fuzzy, aren't considering, and this Blake Harris guy, is that inside the rules of baseball, it's a very simple and straightforward rule. And the rule is the runner running from first base to second base, or second base to third base, or third base to home. When you see a runner coming from third base to home, let's say on a sacrifice fly or a close play at the plate, and the catcher is blocking home plate, the exact reason why the Buster Posey rule was implemented is to avoid contact between the two players, because the rule is that has not been changed, is that the base runner is fully entitled to get to the next base, whatever the case is, whatever it takes. In the situation of Buster Posey, where the rule was invented at home plate, where the catcher must allow for a lane with the runner coming home, is to avoid injury. Unfortunately, between first and second and third, there is no such rule. So when a ball gets chopped and there's a timing play and the second baseman picks it up, tags the runner who's coming subsequently from first base to second base, and he's in his way, the base runner is forced to make a decision. In this case, Manny Machado's decision, like we've mentioned before, was to run to the right out of the baseline, run to the left out of the baseline, stop running completely and give himself up, opening up the chances for a double play where Edman could tag and throw to first, or he could slide low, try to avoid the tag, also avoiding as much contact as possible. Now, again, as dirty as this play looked, and as Edman comes flying through the air, right? Boom! He gets in the air, comes down softly, catches himself pretty easily. That, in that situation, is the cleanest and best way you can slide into an oncoming defender without A, injuring them, and B, with also successfully breaking up the double play. Because as we showed previously, his other option was to choose the Albert Bell method, which is to continue running full speed, truck the guy trying to tag you with the ball, and lifting him in the air. Edman's not a very big dude, which is another thing many people aren't really taking into consideration. He's 5'8", 5'9" at best. He's flat-footed when this play happens, okay? He's right here, standing almost upright. Manny goes down as he reaches for the tag and goes over the top of him, okay? And again, it's an interesting play. It's a unique play. It's hard to look at, and it's much more difficult using the video that was tweeted out by Blake Harris and tweeted out by Fuzzy, because in slow motion, as you can see, this play looks very dirty. Manny goes, okay, I don't know what to do. I'm going to take a low slide. I'm going to cover my head, and Edman, boom, goes flying through the air, right? As you can see in the last part that, again, nobody seems to be considering, at this exact moment, Manny Machado does a little bit juke right. He does a little bit juke left. And then, he says, I have nowhere else to go. I got to go low and straight into his legs, because otherwise I'm going to run him over, or I'm going to give myself up, and it's going to turn to an easy double play. So Machado is fully entitled to the baseline. And because of this play, as dirty as it looks, boom, Edman goes through the air. This play is not dirty. Manny Machado has a history of being a dirty player, but this play is not dirty. There's no controversy. There's nothing to be discussed. This is well within the rule book. And if it wasn't well within the rule book, then the umpires would have called the runner at first base out. It's that simple. For some reason, that's really hard for people to understand. And whenever players go to the ground and other players get taken out or go through the air, even when it's, say, a hard slide directly into second base, right off the bat, people's instincts are to say, wow, that could have been a dirty play. And especially when it's regarding Manny Machado, and totally understandable. Machado has a history of extremely dirty and over the top plays that are not within the rules of the baseball rule book. But this situation does not warrant the reaction that's being shown on Twitter. Okay. And a lot of it is people just debating, people going back and forth, but to call people defending Manny Machado in this situation to be fanboys is, in my opinion, not the correct way to go about it, because the people defending Manny Machado are correct in this specific situation. I am a Padres fan. I root for Manny Machado, and I will be the first one to tell you he has a very questionable and very dirty history on the baseball field. Very dirty. The play with Aguilar, throwing his bat, all those plays are extremely dirty, extremely uncalled for, and not what you want to see out of a player. With that being said, I think Manny Machado has greatly improved in his baseball etiquette. I think that play that went down on the Dodgers was a situation, again, that most of those situations boil out of frustration. So he was frustrated that he grounded out to shortstop. He took his anger out on Jesus Aguilar's ankle instead of, throwing his bat or doing some other sign of frustration. So he made the choice to kick Aguilar, and it was not a good choice. Okay, that was unwarranted, and everybody knows it. But this situation, taking out Edman on a completely clean, normal baseball play, is something that should not be under too much discussion. So we have the Adam Jones tweet to my left, or to your guys' right, another tweet from Cody Decker, who says, not remotely a dirty play, exactly what we were taught to do. No one hurt, no one fought. Manny immediately checked on him. This is a waste of time, and that's exactly how I feel about this situation. Could not have said it better myself. It's not a dirty play. Manny checked on him right away. Edman was just in a bad spot, and Manny made, in my opinion, one of the best choices to achieve two things: not injure anybody and break up a double play. And he did so successfully. So if you guys agree with me or you disagree with me, let me know in the comments. I'm curious for open discussion. Like I said, I try to be as unbiased as I possibly could, because every situation requires context, and that's something that's really important, especially in the game of baseball, and especially when discussing dirty plays. I think this one slow motion clip was taken out of context. He doesn't show Manny Machado, at least in the clip on Twitter from Blake Harris, doesn't show Manny Machado checking on Edman, doesn't show the play in full speed, doesn't show multitude of examples where players have done literally this exact same thing. It happens all the time. And I think it's important that people know that. So that's why I made this video, and that's why I'm sharing this video for everybody to see, with all those tweets, all the breakdowns, and everything else. So thank you guys for watching. Like I said, comment down below where you stand on this situation and where you stand on Manny Machado. Slap a thumbs up for this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel, because we're putting out all kinds of baseball content all over the internet, all over YouTube, all over Twitch, everywhere else you guys want to see me. I'll be there. But check out the links in the description. I got my links to all my socials. And otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys in another video. Peace.